Alright, we've got this chassis for the 6120 on the bench now, and we were going through it, double checking some of the connections to some of these components and trying to iron out why there is just a conglomeration of electrolytic capacitors in here. This is one, that is one, this is one, that is one, and that one there, that one right there is one. Now, maybe they substituted one for one other before. That one there, oh no, that, I'm sorry, my mistake, that there is an 05 paper. That is going to be changed out to an X cap, a safety cap. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the original chassis mount cap down here, I believe, had a 4-section cap originally. If you look down here, this would be 1. There's one that's cut right there. That would be 2. This one here would be 3. That one there would be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there'd be 4 wires coming out. One will be a ground, or a neutral, or whatever. So that obviously this one of these is a 3-section cap. This one over here is an 8 microfarad. This is an original cap, I believe, and it was soldered in there, and that went to chassis. I snipped it so that I could maneuver it around, get it out of the way for some of this other stuff. The odd thing is that this schematic, or any of the other schematics, don't show an 8 microfarad in there. Now, if that was put in by the factory, well, they missed it. Because what should be in there is a 16, a 16, a 30, and a 25. Well, this here, these two, this one and that one, is a 24. This one here is a 40, and that one there is an 8. Now, the two down there, I can't get to read these here, because when they mounted this thing in, the information label, what's left of it, if any, is in an area that you can't read it. There's just no way in the world you can read it. Now, I might be able to read it later once I get shit out of the way. But that would make one or both of these, in conjunction with the two that are still left here, that would be 4, 5 caps. And if you count that, that's 6. There's 4 up here and 2 down here from the original. So some of these got to be paralleled. Probably this one and that one. This one here, they probably paralleled something in order to get a reading somewhere close to 25 microfarad. 24, 24. I haven't been able to verify what these are. I'll have to get that done chop chop. So from here, this one here is for chassis 101.546. This here is chassis 101.546. Now, over here on this one here is a rider's. This here is a rider's schematic for this particular radio, which is a 6120 or a 101.546 or a 101.546-1 or -1A. Now, being that this one and this one here are the same, I've traced all of this out, and I got to here, and here's where there's a big discrepancy. From 2 to 7 of the rectifier tube, it should be hooked directly in, and then out of 2 should go to 3 of the ballast tube. Well, it's not even close. These two 50 ohm resistors that are series connected comes off of pin 2 of the power tube, the output tube, but instead of going to 7, it goes up here to 3. Yeah, 3 right here. Hopefully that focuses in okay. The master made a comment in the last video about those 250 ohm resistors and the changes made to the chassis connections for those two resistors. Addition of 250 ohm 2 watt resistors to eliminate failure of the 25Z6 rectifier tubes, and in some cases subsequent shorting of the first section of the electrolytic filter condenser. Now, I'm not really sure what the first section of the electrolytic filter condenser is. It could be that one, or it could be this one. One of these 16s. I don't know, because I haven't been able to verify it. This 30, I'm not sure if that's part of the ones that are still part of the original set, multi-section cap. Carrying on. Note, the resistors have been added at the factory when the identification number reads 101.546-1. Well, I don't have one of those 101.546-1 or a 1A. But it does give you a direction on how to disconnect the existing lug 4 and 5 of the rectifier tube to pin 7 of the ballast tube, and insert the two 50 ohm 2 watt resistors in place to pin 4 and pin 5 to pin 7. So this rider's, let me get this out of the way here. Sorry for the jumbling here. This one here is a Beatman's publication. It is exactly like that one. This one here gives you, all it does is give you the schematic, the notations for the nomenclature, and listing for the alignment information. I don't even know if it's all there. Now, this one over here, this one here is a writer's publication. It is the same chassis, the same schematic, connection for connection, the same thing as the Beatman's, except for down here they show the 25Z6 with the partial depiction of it with the 250 ohm resistors connected in to one of the plates and then one of the cathodes. The other plate is grounded. The other cathode runs up here and is the same as this connection up here. So this line is broken right here, and a 50 ohm resistor, 2 watt, goes to the plate. This connection here is broken there, and a 50 watt goes from pin 4 to pin 7 over here on the ballast tube. And then both of those go right on through. Now this here shows the connection tied together with the 2 resistors going to 4 and 5 respectively. If you read this, let me get it up here where you remove the wire connecting pins 4 and 5. Now, if you hopefully and get some light down here on that thing so you can see it and get that big lump of crud out of the way. That's pin 5 and that's pin 4. They are tied together. They are shorted together right there. And that one there goes off and comes over here to pin 7 of the ballast tube. Now if you read this, it says remove the wire connecting pins 4 and 5 of the rectifier tube to pin 7 of the ballast tube. So if you remove the wire completely from 4 and 5 of the rectifier tube, you have no more connection between 4 and 5. The resistor takes over the connection from here that goes to pin 7 of the ballast tube, and this one here comes over here and that goes off to pin 7 of the ballast tube. They are still tied together. Now what it says here, 150 ohm 2 watt resistor is connected from pin 4 of the rectifier to pin 7. The other 50 ohm 2 watt resistor is connected from pin 5 to pin 7. The 50 ohm 2 watt resistors, parts number about, can be obtained from source. Connections are shown on the schematic diagram, model 101-546-1. Well, if this is 101-546-1, it shows them both connected together. Now, I'm guessing, I hate to do that, but I'm guessing this here has got to be shorted again, like it was here. So, I'm going to do that. The one thing that kind of threw me a loop here about this radio was, you remember I showed you the ballast tube and the power to output tube in my little plastic tray, because they had fallen out of the sockets and was rolling around inside the cabinet. Well, the other tube that I didn't mention was a rectifier tube, but it wasn't the 35Z6, it was a 117Z6. I checked the pinouts for both tubes and they're identical. So they're both the same, pretty much exactly the same tube. One's labeled 117Z6 and the other one's labeled 115Z6. And actually a 35Z6 is the same thing. So you can do whatever, and I guess you compensate for the difference in whatever with resistors. So I'm gonna put this according to the changes on here, because I believe what happened was, since it had a 117Z6 in it, the other two, the old original tube was shorted out, or whatever. Shorting, yes, shorting. And they stuck that one in there and made this modification in here for this thing. But it's not even close to what that is. These two resistors, it comes off of pin 2 of the power tube and goes to pin 3 of the ballast tube. Well, it completely bypasses this 25Z6 or the 117Z6, whichever one you want to use. And these two resistors aren't, I mean, they're not even close. Now, they may be doing the same thing and everything, but I'm guessing that there's something up with this. So I think before I do any power up on this thing, I'm going to get it back to original connectivity according to this schematic with the changes on the thing. And I've got two 25Z6s coming out of California. They should be here probably Wednesday, maybe Thursday. Depends on how lazy the seller is in getting them ready for tomorrow's pickup from the postman. So I'm going to have to go in here and pluck out everything before we can do anything more to it. So stand by. I'm sorry this one here went a little lengthy, but decided to get it documented and see if it makes any sense. So thanks for watching.